What's up, everyone? I just want to make a video showing what I learned at my clinic with Scott Stokely. We had a nice, cold, snowy day, but here's the first video of my backhand at the start of the day. So this on this left side, this is that before video. Kind of the main thing that's got pointed out was that my reach back is not as far as it could be because my head is locked into my shoulder right there. So I'm not reaching back as far as I can, and that's like taking off some distance. Another big thing he really emphasizes is to plant first and then throw, which I'm kind of doing here. I do an okay job at that, plant and then throw, but I really kind of emphasize that as I was learning throughout the day. Another big thing he pointed out was that I'm holding the disc like super nose up. You can see I kind of drew this angle here because I'm tilting the disc nice and nose up, which takes off a lot of distance. And then the other big thing that well, I guess there's two more things. Another thing Scott says to do is to keep your weight kind of vertical over your hips, because it's, throwing a disc golf disc is more of like a twisting motion, like a figure skater, like jumping and spinning. So you want to, when you're spinning, you want to be vertical, have all your weight in the center so you can twist. And so I kind of naturally lean over a little bit. I don't know if that's just from like sports. You're supposed to kind of like bend down and lean over a little bit, but I just like naturally lean over pretty much every time I'm throwing, which is okay if you want to throw a hyzer, but if you want to throw like max distance or flat or whatever, that's gonna take off power. So that was another thing. And then the another final big tip that he kind of gave everyone was that you want your like chin and the disc to just be on two parallel lines, kind of like I drew over here. Just you want the disc and the chin like the whole time when you pull back and pull through and you're walking, you kind of want to keep them together. So I put a tracker on my hand and a tracker on my chin. And if I play this, you can see that, I mean, my head's kind of bobbing up and down because I'm like shuffling my feet, and then my pull through kind of dips down. I kind of pull from like up around my shoulder level, like here it's, at my collarbone, but then when I'm actually throwing, I pull like out and low, and so the disc is just going from holding it nose up to a dip and probably throwing it nose up. So that's just taking off a lot of distance for me. So that's all the before stuff. I'll switch over to the after video here. Alright, so that was the after video. This is it. Oh shoot. This is it on the right side here. And so yeah, you kind of just had to just do, at least when you're starting to learn or change a bunch of stuff, just do like 3 steps. Don't worry about all the other ones yet, but basically take a step, put the disc forward, then do the X step and reach back, and this, this time my head isn't locked into my shoulder like in the before, how I kind of keep it faced this way and locked into my shoulder. I look back with my hand. I just kind of let it turn with my shoulders. So my reach back is a lot further. My weight is kind of more centered here. I'm still kind of like naturally leaning over, so I'm still going to have to keep adjusting that. But yeah, a little more vertical, good reach back. And basically what he had me kind of practice was just go from this step over to the plant step and try to kind of leave my upper body still. But yeah, basically go from there to there, just kind of keep bouncing back and forth and trying that, and get used to leaving my reach back, planting, and then whipping everything through. So I still just because of my habits, like I still want to start the throw a little bit early here. Like you can see I start pulling right here. I start pulling a little bit as like my toe is like touching the ground. So I still can probably wait a little bit more to get a better whip on it, but um, yeah, I just get a full reach back, try to plant first, and then kind of whip the disc through. Um, I'm trying to hold the disc a little bit more nose down in this because he told me about that, but um, I still have that. As you can see, I still have this dip, just kind of pulling low, and so I need to work on keeping this in a straight line, kind of more parallel with my chin. So that's just a big thing I'm gonna work on going forward. But here's this will be the two videos at the same time, side by side. So even though in this one I'm going a lot slower, I end up getting a lot better whip on the disc and throwing it harder and farther than I did going into the day. So all right, and just quickly, we also did work on putting and forehands and some other stuff throughout the day. So here's my putting form before. Okay, so basically right away he noticed just how many different kind of levers and stuff are going on with this. Like I'm kind of trying to spin putt, but using like my elbow, my wrist, like timing with my hand and all this stuff. So yeah, I kind of come down with it like super curled up in my wrist, and then push out my elbow and wrist and kind of flick it at the same time. And kind of the funny part about this video is that Scott was standing like to the left side, and I was supposed to throw it to him, and I completely like shanked this putt and like almost hit the camera. So yeah, my putt was just super inconsistent. A lot of different movements going on. I'm getting my legs into it and whatever, but yeah, just really inconsistent. Scott noticed that right away. So here's the new kind of putting form. Basically, he just recommended like take out all the levers and movement, just all the room for error. Just kind of hold it nose down and try to use mostly arm. And so you can see I kind of start by just remembering to hold the disc nose down, and then I kind of just keep my arms straight, swing it down, try to keep it in a straight line with the basket, and then, yeah, just use mostly arm, I guess, and legs, and just reach at the basket and hold it. That was another big thing. You just make sure you hold your follow through pointed right at the basket. So yeah, a pretty big change to the putting form, and now it feels just a lot more consistent. I have to get used to it because I really just changed a lot of stuff with it, but it feels a lot more consistent. It comes out pretty clean. Definitely bumped up my putting games. I basically had no forehand coming into this. I rarely throw forehands. This is the before for that, and so I basically I played baseball, so I just take kind of a hop step and then try to just kind of throw it. And the only tips I've really seen in forehand videos are to keep your elbow like pinched into your hip. Like I've seen people say that. And then another thing is people say like keep your palm up, don't like roll your wrist over. So I try to keep my elbow in. I kind of tried to not roll my wrist, but I still did that, and I just burned this forehand into the ground. So that was a before, like didn't really have a forehand. Here's the after. Okay, so yeah, you just said kind of just take a step, swing the disc, and you can either swing it up over the top like a windmill or back up like a pendulum, which I did, and then just kind of step and throw. Just make sure you're getting that arm angle right. The biggest thing that helped me was like not trying to pinch my elbow into my hip, like because since I played baseball, like he said, you should basically feel like you're throwing a baseball. Like you just don't worry about tucking your elbow in all weird. Just throw it, flick your wrist, get some nice wrist pop on it, and you really just have to worry about what angle you're throwing it on. Like if you're throwing it into a roller, you know, maybe you're angling it too hard. You just have to kind of drop your arm a little bit more. Just kind of keep messing around with it until you get a nice release. And then if you want a hyzer, just lean over. So just kind of like building that muscle memory and getting a clean release. So I at least know what to do to have a forehand now. So that was good, but I didn't want to emphasize that too hard just because I'm a, you know, backhand dominant player. So, but yeah, so that was my video of just everything I learned in the clinic. Feel free to comment below if you guys have any other tips for me with my form that you've seen. But yeah, thank you for watching.